All right, let's go get work done. Oh, cool. Project Lighthouse is working well. Got all my stuff. Can't wait for the second phase. All right, let's get this video started. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, Kite Altair here with Kite Talks About, and after quite a while of waiting and working on other projects, I've finally been able to get to working on Project Black Gold, which is my automatic compost manager. So I've actually been able to get some things done yesterday, so I just want to give you guys an update video on what's going on with it as of right now. So Project Black Gold is going to consist of these 3 bins. The one over here, is going to be the water reservoir, and the other 2 right here are actually going to be where the soil is contained. Now, if you guys saw my Instagram a couple of days ago, you would have seen the test that I did with this water reservoir. That actually served as a water purification unit. So not only does it hold the water, but it actually sterilizes the water so that I can have the water sitting in there for a long period of time. The issue that I had months ago when I first did my compost project was keeping that water in there for a long period of time caused mold to grow. And when you would open the top, it would smell like an open stomach essentially due to all of the fungus and whatnot putrefying the water. So I was trying to find a good way to sterilize, to keep it warm, to boil it if necessary, and make it automated. But I was having a lot of issues with it. And one day I saw this heating element, which is normally put inside of water heaters that you use in your home, like for showering, for washing, things like that. So I did an experiment because the flange that you see, the water heating flange that you see, is actually one of the lower water heater elements that I could find. And in the Instagram post, which is my Instagram Kite Talks About, I actually did a test to verify its safety, that it wouldn't melt anything, there wouldn't be any electrical issues or anything. So after testing it, I actually got it to work, and the surface temperature was actually at over 140 degrees. Now, if you guys don't know, it appears that at temperatures of 130, 140 degrees is when fungus, bacteria, and whatnot break down. So it's not that they can't breed anymore, they just straight die. So the main point, though, was to see if I could do it. And I was able to do it, thankfully. So what I'm going to do when I fully implement the project into Project Black Gold, I just need these. I'm going to have just the surface level of the water be at 120, 140 degrees, because that is where the bacteria will be when they're, breeding and whatnot. For the most part, the fungus and whatnot. It'll be throughout the entire enclosure, throughout the entire reservoir. But I really want to focus on that surface level fungus and whatnot. So the next part is the soil containers. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get my flashlight. And I'm actually going to show you guys this new design that I put in. So if you guys look closely, you can actually see a tube that goes inside of it. So there's a tube here, and moving this water reservoir, you can actually see that there's another tube here. Now, what that does is serve as the entrance for the water. So there's actually a water pump inside of the reservoir. Here it is right here. So this is the one of about 2 or 3 water pumps that are going to be put inside this reservoir. And what's going to happen is first it gets sterilized, and then there will be 2 sensor units inside each compost bin, and those are going to be water moisture sensors. If you haven't seen it already, this is how it looks. So what you do is you put this in soil. You can also put it in water, and it has these 3 little prongs that you put your you connect to the Elegoo. So going from left to right, you have your signal, your positive, and then your negative. So once you put it in, it actually detects the level that the soil is in. So the higher it goes and the more moisture is there, the higher the number, because you have to read it with the analog pin on your Elegoo. So there are going to be 2 of those in each of the compost, and the Elegoo is going to do the math and see what the average compost moisture level is. If it's too low, then it's going to activate a relay on one or both compost heaps, which will activate their respective water pump. I know there's only one, but there are going to be several more later on when I fully implement the project. And that now sterilized water is going to pump that water into these tubes. Once it gets inside these 2 pipes, when you look here on the other side, you can actually see caps on it. So these caps are actually sealed. So that's going to build up the water pressure because I actually have very small holes drilled into the pipes so that it sprays more like the water within the compost heap. You can't see it now because 1, I have it buried, and 2, yesterday I actually put in a lot of biodegradable materials, mainly vegetables and whatnot, inside of here. So I don't want to disturb it right now. So let's go ahead and keep this covered for now. But that's going to be how the water gets delivered inside the compost. I plan to have them on for about a minute. And then after that 1 minute, the pump will turn off automatically and the water will just filter. The rest of the water will filter inside their respective compost. So that is the plan, and that'll have everything self-sustaining. There will also be a sensor in the reservoir so that the water level doesn't go below the water heating element, nor does it go under the water pump, because if the water level gets below both, there will be a lot of damage. For the pump, it'll stop working, it'll seize, and for the water heater, it'll actually melt itself because it's not transferring that heat from the metal immediately into the water. It'll be taking that all that heat itself and cause a lot of issues. But I have done this before as far as having the sensor determine the water level, and I've never had any issues. So all of this is actually going to be run by one Elegoo. So all of the sensors, like let's say the Elegoo is just here, all the sensors are going to be connected via wires to that one Elegoo, because I have about 13, I would say like 15 pins on the Elegoo, and I also have a port expander that can expand the available pins from about 12, or actually like 13, 15 to another extra 16. I just have to sacrifice, I believe, 2 or 3 pins, I believe. So what I'm also going to do is have a heating element inside. So this is the water heating element, but I'm actually going to have 2 heat lamps in this hole. So it's going to actually, the cord's going to come through here. And if you look here at my ant nursery, you'll see how it'll look. So this is actually going to be in here hanging from the top of the compost heap. And that'll provide the necessary heat to get the microbes going. I also have worms in here to get the worms going, because it's not like a cool or like lukewarm room temperature compost. It'll actually be very warm. And to determine what that temperature is, I'll have the DS18 Bravo 20, which is this little silver hanging thing that you see right here in my nursery. So by doing that, I can tell the temperature. By having the soil moisture sensors, I can determine the moisture level of the soil as well as the water level here in the reservoir, with the heating element that will sterilize the soil, not sterilize the soil, it'll sterilize the water, which will ensure that I keep the water in here. I can keep the water in here for a long period of time. And I would just keep on going with this cycle, and occasionally putting in biodegradable materials, mainly vegetables, fruits, things that aren't meat or dairy or any greasy foods. And by doing that, that'll enrich the soil more and more as it breaks down. As I said yesterday, I actually filled both compost heaps with some vegetables, so like carrots, beets, things like that. But I've also put whole heads of lettuce in there as well, just to enrich it. For me, it's not expensive, so it's nothing for me to worry about. But it's just something that I do to ensure that that everything's enriched, because that's what I want. I want everything to be enriched. I want it to be very nice and make it so that I don't have to constantly go to the store if I want to have good soil. So really, what is the next step in Project Black Gold? So as I stated before, I'm going to need to go ahead and put the circuitry together. I also need to go and order more pumps. And once I have the pumps in, I have the Elegoo circuitry made, as well as its enclosure, put everything inside of it, put in the heat lamps, I'll be good to go and I can go ahead and start. I've actually already started by putting the soil and everything in, but to have it fully up to speed and fully operational is going to take those steps, which won't take a long time, and it won't be very complicated to begin with anyway. So that is the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, and leave a comment on your thoughts in the comment section below. I can't wait because I've actually been working on several projects. So I'm actually going to be making a video about Project Felstinger, my scorpion enclosures, and give you some updates on them. I'm also working on this, and I'm also finishing Project Lighthouse, which I'll talk about again in another video. Project Lighthouse is installed inside this room, inside the red room, which I don't have normal lights because the white lights tend to disturb my scorpions and my ant colonies, as well as my superworms and everything. Basically, all of my insects, all of my pets do not like the white light. So that's why when I'm talking to you guys inside of the red room, I have the red lights on, because I would rather shoot in a red light, looks different or whatnot, than disturb and stress all of my animals. Because I did an experiment before where I'd even have it covered, but as soon as you turn that light on and they notice it's white light, they all tend to start freaking out and they really don't like it. So please forgive me. I'm sorry that I had to make this change, but I feel it's really necessary because my main focus is the comfort and the low stress levels of all my pets. That's top priority for me. So without further ado, thank you for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys have a blessed day, and I will see you later. Bye.